How you doing?
Let's go. I'm doing really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fight week going well so far?
I just flew in last night, did a few media so far, and everything's going really well.
Yeah. So you fought in Vegas before?
Yeah, my UFC debut was Vegas, March 2nd.
Yeah.
So feels same hotel, same venue, same everything. Feels familiar now.
Yeah. Different kind of opponent though.
I would say, I mean, honestly, with me, it's kind of the same thing. As long as I can go execute on what I'm going to execute on, everything's going to go well. So I'd say Robbie's a little more powerful than George. George is probably a little crisper with his boxing. Both of them have, all right ground games, but not great. Robbie's probably a little better wrestler. George is probably a little better jiu-jitsu. So, yeah, I mean, I think fairly similar.
So what's the danger in the first round in comparison to Robbie with Masvidal? Because as you said, Robbie's more powerful.
Yeah.
Is that something you've got to be less aware of against Masvidal early on?
No, I mean, the goal of every fight is to take as little damage as possible. So I think Masvidal moves a little better. I mean, one of the things about Robbie is he plants his feet and he throws hard. And that's you know what you're going to get every time. George moves pretty well. So, a lot of my training camp has been more making sure I'm moving my feet, cutting off, putting pressure on, that kind of stuff.
Was there any frustration coming out of the Robbie Lawler fight? Obviously, there was some controversy around the finish of it. I mean, we discussed it in London, and I think we both agreed that there was a point where Robbie looked like he was unconscious, and then you released it slightly, and he got that oxygen back to his brain. So you obviously feel very confident that was a comfortable win in the bag for you. But with the controversy around it, was there some frustration that you need to play out in this fight, perhaps?
No, I don't think so. Right? I think those treat them as totally separate incidences. With this fight, just like any fight, I want to go in. If I can go in there and take him down and punch him 5 times and choke him in a minute, I mean that's ideal, right? That's ideal for anybody to go in there and finish it as simply as possible. So it doesn't. The fact that my last fight was like that doesn't add to this fight. Just the same thing, right? If I could have went and punched Robbie 5 times, taken down, choked him out, then that would have been ideal also. Although that's not how it went.
Yeah. Do you think that slowed your progress down at all, though? If you'd have gotten a less controversial win, and another win this weekend would have put you right in line for a title shot, perhaps?
I think I am right in line for a title shot. I think, obviously, they just rebooked Colby versus Robbie, funny enough. And so I think it's the refreshingness I brought to the UFC, the popularity that I have somehow, some way, and then the fact that I'm 19-0, that's put me in position to possibly get a title shot this weekend.
So with your trash talk, you said you don't really do it to get inside your opponent's heads. Who's it for then? Is it for your entertainment? Is it for the fans? Is it just passing time?
Well, I may have misspoke. I said I didn't try to get inside Robbie's head specifically.
Okay.
And with some of these guys though, it's so easy. I mean, like George, I can't really pinpoint something I did or something. I mean, the one thing he points to is the fact that I said I whooped him in a training session, which he kind of admitted was true. And he said, well, we shouldn't be talking about what happens in practice. And yeah, generally I don't if it was my teammate, but like I've worked out with you twice. I don't really know you. And I wanted to pick a fight with you. So I knew that was maybe going to make you upset, and I brought it up to try to give some backstory to why I want to pick the fight with you, and it worked. And so with him, I didn't have to try very hard. With Usman, I just called him Marty. Listen, that was his name. For a decade, that was his name. Like, I didn't think I was saying anything funny at the point in time. I just said, that's what I knew him as. It's a lot easier to say also. And then he got all about it. And then he said he wasn't about it, but then he is about it. So it's like some of these guys, you don't have to try. You just say stuff, and they get all upset. And then obviously once they're upset about it, you're not going to stop, are you? No, you're just going to keep going.
So do you think those training sessions will be in Masvidal's head going into this fight then?
Yeah, I definitely think they are. I mean, dude, I hadn't even had a fight yet. I was 0-0 at that point in time. I was, literally probably 6 weeks into doing anything, and as far as mixed martial arts is concerned. And so I think there was an obvious reason why there was a reluctance on his part to take this fight. Now, once he took it, then he went all in, and he's saying all this crazy stuff, and he is trying to make everyone forget that he didn't want to take the fight. I mean, if you remember the lead up to the London fight, he was saying, oh, I'm not going to say this guy's name. In the post-fight speech, he said, I'm not going to say this guy's name. I don't want to make him famous, blah, 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 blah. And so there was, I think a weak point in time, 2 weeks maybe, where he was trying not to take the fight, and then he realized, hey, there's not really any other good options. This is the fight that makes sense for everybody involved. And so he realized he had to. But I think probably those things, hey, this is a really bad matchup for me. If I do win, this is going to be a really tough fight for me to win. I think those things were probably playing through his head the whole time.
So what do you think he's done to prepare for this fight?
I'm sure he's worked a lot on his wrestling, but the fantastic thing with wrestling is that this is something that I've been doing now for like 30 years, and at a really, really high level for close to the last 2 decades. And so, prior to his last fight, obviously he fought Damian Maia the one time, but he fought Stephen Thompson and Cerrone and Darren Till. And so it wasn't like he had a heavy focus on wrestling or said, I'm going to be a great wrestler. And so then, 12 weeks ago or 13 weeks ago when he makes the decision, okay, I'm going to take this fight, it's not like you can become an elite level wrestler in 13 weeks. Can you get a little better? Sure. Can you develop some tactics? Yeah, I suppose so. But when those tapes are released or the videos are released of like him and Colby kind of playing around, you can see like George has some decent wrestling. Like it's okay. But then when Colby, when push comes to shove and Colby says, I'm going to take this guy down, he takes this guy down, right? And Colby's not even my level of wrestling. If I'm here, Colby's down here, and then you see that George is down here. And so I'm sure he's worked hard on his wrestling. I'm sure he's developed some solid tactics, and he's a good fighter. But his wrestling is good, but there's no way he can jump from this level all the way to this level in 13 weeks. It's just not doable.
So you said he's a good fighter. What about him makes him a good fighter? What are his standout qualities?
I think he has a lot of good qualities. I mean, one of the things, he does come to fight hard pretty much every single time. He's got really solid striking, both offensively and defensively. He has solid wrestling, which is good enough to stop. Like Maia was able to take him down, I think, 3 or 4 times. But for most people who aren't good wrestlers, they're just average. They can't take him down. And his jiu-jitsu is decent, too. He's got a few good attacks there. So he's kind of one of those guys who he's been fighting. I mean, just like Robbie, he's probably been, I think we're roughly the same age, but he's been fighting since I was in high school. I mean, so I think, he's obviously had a lot of time to develop those type of skills.
So assuming we get the win this weekend, then moving forward, you're really only interested in a title shot. Is there anybody else in the division that interests you?
No, I said I'm not. I don't like that tactic where they say, I only want a title shot, otherwise I'm going to sit on the bench. I hate that. That tactic drives me crazy. So I think there's a good chance I'm going to get the title shot. And if for some reason it becomes apparent that I don't, I said that Leon Edwards and RDA are fighting on July 20th, which is 2 weeks from now. And so if for some reason the title fight doesn't work out, I can take the winner of that. I can fight again. I'm not scared to fight again. And I always say, if you think you're the best in the world, which I do think I am, I'm not really scared to fight anybody. I'll take them on, if that's what it takes to get a title shot. But I think I'm in a pretty good position after this because Usman hasn't fought since March. Now the number 1, Covington, is booked. He just beat Tyron, and Tyron kind of has a hand injury, so he's kind of on the shelf. Number 3 is booked again, and then Masvidal and myself are 4 and 5, and so when you're llooking at the layout of it, it would make a lot of sense.
And what are your thoughts on the Covington Lawler fight? How do you see that one playing out?
Well, I think it's a tough fight. I think it's a tough fight for both of them. I think it's kind of a coin flip. I think it's not an easy one to say, oh, this is going to happen. Some fights you can say, just based on their skill sets, I'm pretty sure this one thing is going to happen. With that one, Colby's obviously going to try to put the pressure on, put him against the cage. Robbie has generally had pretty solid takedown defense throughout his whole career, whether it was against Johnny Hendricks or in other fights. And so I don't think it's going to be really easy for Colby to get him down. And if Robbie, Colby has been hit a handful of times. He doesn't have like elite level striking defense. And so if Robbie starts landing some of those punches, it could go a really negative way for Colby. So I can see that fight going a lot of different ways. But I think it's kind of a coin flip type of fight.
And, talking about Robbie Lawler, I feel like you're very good at getting inside fighters' heads, whether you mean to or not.
Yeah.
And Robbie's quite an emotional fighter. He looked very emotional before that fight started. Colby Covington's very good at getting inside people's heads. Do you think he's going to be able to do that to Robbie Lawler?
I don't even feel like I tried to get inside Robbie's head. It was just kind of like I actually like this guy. Been a fan of him since this guy's been fighting. Even though we're similar age, he's been fighting since I was in high school. So yeah, I think he was probably more emotional because he realized how much the fight meant to him because he had a couple losses and kind of been off with the knee injury, and so that was it. And I don't really see Colby being creative enough to get inside Robbie's head. He uses kind of the same tactics on every single fight, so I don't really see that happening.
What do you think to the Leon Edwards fight against RDA? Who do you anticipate winning that one?
Well, I hadn't watched Leon Edwards prior to the Gunnar Nelson fight. I guess I didn't really know what to expect. I actually thought Gunnar Nelson was going to be significantly better at the grappling. Leon Edwards did well and really well in the grappling exchange, even though he has primarily a striking background. The one thing I will say about RDA is he seems to win fights if he's a better wrestler. I mean, always. Whether it's he doesn't win them by wrestling, he does striking also. But when he can get out wrestled, you know, if you think of the Colby and Usman fights, are two great examples. If he can get out wrestled, he really struggles. If he's not worried about that, he seems to do really, really well. And you think also, you know, RDA also lost to Khabib back in the day, right? So when he has a wrestling disadvantage, he seems to struggle. When his wrestling is on par or better than another person, he seems to do really well. So in that case, I think it kind of favors him.
So what's your plan for the rest of the week then? You've been to Vegas before. You've got a bit of a routine. Is there any particular places you like to eat, or your weight cutting is your main focus now?
I really won't. I mean, my weight is fine. I won't. You know, obviously I eat smart and everything, but I won't start cutting weight till Thursday night. Just rest, relax, take care of a lot of media that I have to do. I may go to the MMA Awards tomorrow. I know those are tomorrow at I don't know where they are, somewhere around here in Vegas.
Picking something up, do you think?
I don't think. I don't even know that I'm nominated.
No?
I don't think so. I was retired in 2018, so I don't think I'm nominated for anything.
Oh, right. Next year then.
Maybe next year. Other than that, yeah, just relaxing, enjoying time, enjoying the experience, realizing I probably don't have too many of these fight weeks left, so just kind of taking it all in.
Very cool. All right.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.